So I wanted to talk about how important it is that, well, we know Trump's going to be in. Don't Biden's got a foot monitor on. I mean, he's going to jail. But it's really important that Trump gets back in, or else everything he's done will be undone, and nobody will ever be punished, and this shit will go on unabated. We will eventually live in hell, or I'll be dead, whatever. So I wanted to talk about how important it is to stop dancing like puppets to the puppet master's strings all the time. I mean, oh my gosh. All this false division, all this sown division. It's like we're really just gullible as hell. All my life growing up, I haven't hardly seen any racism. And I live in Texas, where deep in the South, where if there would be racism, it should be around here. I don't ever see it. My whole life, I've never seen it, much. Then again, I am of the majority class, but I mean, of course, there's assholes here and there. Where human beings are assholes sometimes that are racist. It's never going to change, but are bigoted in one way or another. But generally, most people I know are pretty loving folks. So all this racism and all this crap has just been manufactured recently in the last few years. Using the fact that nobody knows their real history against us. The truth of the African slave trade, it certainly wasn't started by, Joe Schmo. It was started by the same enemies that we have, that we all have always had, always been the same ones. You don't even have to name them. Call them the Khazars, call them the Jesuits, call them the royalty. That's it right there in a nutshell. The elite classes of families. Whoever they are, whatever they are, wherever they came from, they know a lot about mind control and they use it, and technology. And they've done a really good job in dumbing us down, and so we don't remember our history. Only 1% of Americans held slaves. The Civil War isn't what we think it was. Neither were World War I and II, and they're trying to start three like really hard. And Trump and whoever's behind Trump has stopped that several times over the years, last few years. In Syria and everywhere else. Anyway, so all these sown divisive lines. Now there is a real division supposedly between left and right. And there is division between left and right, but most of the left, honestly, doesn't really know what they're voting for. I mean, they don't. I know good and loving people that voted for Joe Biden, and that's insane. That's insane. My mother-in-law, she's an angel. She's a vegan. She walks her walk, and she walks the talk she talks. Let me tell you, she's an awesome woman. She literally is so brainwashed, and she's like a classical liberal. She doesn't understand that term has been hijacked and everything about it. So has Democrats. The Democrat Party have always been the party of racism. I don't know how they managed to swap the deal. The Republicans were started by black people and abolitionists. Man, the Democrats have always been the South and the Confederacy, and the ones that wanted, to keep the lynching laws from getting passed, the ones that wanted to keep Reformation from even happening. Those people, they were Democrats. But somehow all these people now, modern day Democrats, that voted for him, which were not that many, less than 20 million, maybe somewhere in the teens, maybe really, all the voter fraud that's being analyzed shows that Donald Trump got between 74 and 80 million votes. So that's heartening. At least most people are waking up. But anyway, all this sown division that we have, to where literally, when they announce that Biden's not going to be president, it's conceivably they could start a civil war, but that's just not going to happen, because I know people, and people don't want to do that. Now, Republicans and conservative people we're not going to go burning things down and hurting people, attacking old people and all that, like you see on Antifa and BLM, and those things are not going to last long either. It does seem like people are waking up, and there is a great awakening, because a lot of people know what's going on with vaccines and everything else. So that's a good thing. They haven't been able to keep that out. And I really do think that the age of Aquarius, whatever's coming in on the 21st, it is changing. It's going to be a different time. As long as we make it through this war, this last lovely war that's most people don't even know what's happening. What a trip, huh? I really am grateful for that. It's been a quote-unquote Cold War, except for all the poor victims, in the places where they victimize more on a mass scale. which, you know, what am I saying? Today's slave trade is probably as vast as any other. There's a lot of people enslaved right now, mostly sex slaves, women and children. It's horrible. Anyway, so I wanted to say how important it is that we all get together and really unite, I mean, as people, because that's how we win. All we have to do is make our minds up and join together, and nothing we don't want can be. We have a lot of work to do to reform our government, because we dropped the ball and we didn't pay attention to what was happening. We got apathetic and lazy. And in our name, with our money, they have done some atrocities. Our American military is what I'm referring to. And the, you know, so the, what do you call them? The, whatever, the powers that shouldn't be. They've used our military as its enforcement arm. And anyway, we've got a lot to make up for and a lot to get right. And if America falls, so falls the world. You know, I think that's why all my friends that are expats living abroad and all people I know of abroad are all looking at this election with Hawkeyes. Anyway, I'm almost home. I got a bunch of people at my house, so I'm going to sign off. And I love you guys. Quit with all the false narratives, man. Especially black people, man. They're really fucking with you guys. So don't drink the Kool-Aid. Take it easy. It's Becca, Valkyrie out.